And we're still going through the 4 techniques that all of Mad Max Fury Road is made of, and we're on technique number 3. And we've kind of alluded to this in the previous ones, that we're concentrating on how the pixels are moving against each other. And the shots that I picked out for this episode are all that. And here is a perfect example. Just watch this. It's incredibly beautiful. So you'll notice, obviously, the truck is going to the left and we're flying in. But if you ignore like the physical 3D position of where things are in the frame and just only look at the movement, and the truck is going in this direction and the pixels are kind of going in this direction. And this just makes it incredibly dynamic. And if you've ever watched Kurosawa, that's what he does all the time. Because it's so dynamic. Like, you can have a still frame that on paper should be incredibly boring. Look what they're doing here. This is a still frame. But because the sand is constantly moving in the background, and in just a second there's a different angle. And now it's all the sand is moving towards us. So this, on paper, this shot should be agonizingly boring to watch. But because of this constant movement in the frame, it becomes art. And Kurosawa would do that all the time with, they just sit and look at each other for a whole minute, but there's rain in the background, or fog. And that creates this different axis of movement, or an axis of movement at all. And it's incredible to watch. And why doesn't everybody do this all the time? Okay, so here are some more examples. So this is it's kind of obvious. They almost went for like a Nintendo graphics kind of platformer. But everything in the frame is standing still except the thing that's moving. And so obviously this shot is designed around the pixel movement that we want. And there's an even more kick-ass version of that. So notice here, so the truck is driving, the one in the middle is moving a little bit, and the one here is moving a lot. So just notice all these axes of movement. And then you have the birds up here going in a circle. And then here's another one. It's a little less clear what the differences are in the pixel movement, but basically the truck is driving. So the truck is driving up in this direction, and we're kind of droning to the left. And anytime you do these things where we physically move where an object moves in one direction and we move just at a different axis, we do get the effect here, but we don't get it as clearly as we did in some of the other shots. But the moment subject and camera are moving at different axes, you get at least a little bit of this kind of a difference in movement. And you don't get tired of looking at it. It's something is mesmerizing. And that allows you to slow down and do something beautiful without being worried for a second that it's boring. So especially if you have like really long dialogue scenes, put something that moves in the background. Put some fog or some rain or, I don't know, some reflections, just anything.